Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you, guys. Good morning, and thank you all so much for being here. Wonderful to see such a huge turnout. My name is Elliott, Kyle. This is my wife, Neill, and we are thrilled to be chairing the event this year. It's a huge honor to do so. I'm a proud board member at Faith Family and was introduced to this amazing organization through my father. So it's a huge honor to be up here in his memory. I want to give a quick shout out to the top sponsors for this event, J. Graham Inc., Phil and Melissa Rowe, and Charlie Martin. So thank you guys all so much for the wonderful support. So again, it just seems like just yesterday I got to sit in the audience and see my dad give this same introduction. So again, thank you guys for letting us be up here. In the last few years of his life, he was completely enamored with the mission of Faith Family and the dedication and passion he saw from the staff and the volunteers and everyone on the board, and the real impact this amazing organization has on its patients and the community. So it's a wonderful event. It's a great organization you'll hear a lot more about. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to Faith Family's new chaplain, Roberto Santiago, who will open with a blessing. Thank you.
Good morning, and it's my privilege to lead us on a prayer, and let's pray for this food and for this event. Our dear and Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for this beautiful day you've given us, the blessing and the opportunity to gather in this place with people with minds alike to serve you and to serve others. Thank you for the opportunity that each one of us have in our own role in life, in our families, our churches, our organizations, to make your vision possible through Faith Family. And each one of the individuals that serve in different capacities at Faith Family, we ask you to always keep us in focus on our purpose, and that is to serve you, serving others. Always allow us to have space for mercy and always have time to see beyond the physical needs of the people, always guiding them to your knowledge and the knowledge that you always also there to help and to heal in their lives. Thank you for this breakfast, the opportunity that we have to share this common meal, and bless us the rest of the day and the events that we are about to see at this time. In Jesus' name we pray and we say thank you. Amen. We're going to see a video in a moment and enjoy it.
Everyone deserves health care, but not everyone can afford health care. Here at Faith Family Medical Center, we're providing the health care that our hardworking neighbors need.
Our mission is driven by faith.
We provide hope and healing
to our hardworking neighbors in need.
Well, we want to provide full care, both physical, spiritual, and emotional needs, a full treatment for people to meet all their needs, not just the physical needs, but the spiritual needs also.
When I came here and I was really sick, Dr. Pennebeck gave me a little bit more than just the normal care that day. He really showed me how much he really was concerned about all of my life, just not particularly my health.
A few hours a month that I spend here, but it makes such an impact and such a difference. Volunteering time is important so that these patients are able to get care and get treatment for proper diagnosis in a timely fashion.
I've been coming here about 15 years. They have saved my life at least once.
The word faith in our name is not about the patient's faith. It's about our faith, and it's about what prompts us as people who believe to act and to work in the way that we do.
Our vision is that all Middle Tennesseans have the healthcare home they need
to lead a fulfilling life.
So again, this is a journey. This is not a one-stop program. So like everything we do here at Faith Family Medical Center is a journey to wellness and a journey to health.
Pero Miss Beth te enseña a comer, te enseña a ejercitarte y también te da ayuda emocional, espiritual.
If you are not okay, you cannot be a blessing to others. And so I think that is what Faith Family Medical Center is. It blends the best of both worlds. It gives you that hope and inspiration, but also understanding that for you to be able to serve the community or whatever space that you might occupy, you have to be in the best shape to do it.
I don't think I will go anywhere else because this is where I like to come. I don't feel like I'm coming to a doctor's office, you know. He's always so professional and everything. I feel like I'm coming to see a family member. That's how I feel with him and with everybody else.
I was very excited about getting to work in a community garden and get to do patient education. The garden is awesome.
Taking care of the people who are truly around us and our neighbors every day. We really take care of the people here who make Nashville run and make Nashville what it is.
Love first, inspire hope,
Serve with grit.
establecer el estándar.
Always believe.
We try and exceed the standard that's out there so that everybody gets great care when they come here. But I do think they get more than that. I think they get compassion from their providers. I think they get counseling about how to afford medications and how to make changes. We have a very dedicated staff, and people are here because they want to be here, because they believe in what we do. So it's more than just a job. I think it's really a calling for most of us.
I am all about access, and I think that this organization does it best.
Donations are vital to what we do here at Faith Family Medical Center. We take every dollar donated and stretch it into about $4 worth of service.
Scripture that I think about most mornings is Galatians 6 and verse 9, which is, don't grow weary in doing good. And we are so thankful for those people who continue to support us. We pray for our patients, that the time they spend with us will make them feel valued, will make them feel treasured by us, that they will know that we truly care about them and that we truly want them to get well and want them to live the best life they can possibly live. Amen.
Good morning, I'm Reggie Ramsey, the board chair for Faith Family. Emily, I'm gonna go slightly off script for a minute, but if everybody from Faith Family that made this morning possible could stand up. I know there are more of y'all out here. Yeah. So we've been looking forward to getting back together in person for a couple of years, and they put a ton of work into making this beautiful setting possible, so this is incredible. So Faith Family cannot do this without the partners that we have in the community, and this year we're presenting Faith Family's first ever Noble Neighbor Award. The Noble Neighbor Award is the highest honor given to an individual or organization who's demonstrated exemplary and inspiring service to Faith Family's patients in ways that provide significant and lasting impact beyond our clinic walls. We're excited to be presenting the inaugural Neighbor Award today, and I'll let the following video express our gratitude to our neighbors.
We at Faith Family would like to thank HCA TriStar, Centennial Medical Center, and specifically Centennial Labs for their faithful dedication to our patients over the years. Without Centennial Lab services, we could not provide the high quality of medical care that we do for our patients. Thank you, Centennial Labs and HCA TriStar Centennial Medical Center, for being a noble neighbor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right. So with that, I'd like to ask Penny Harrell, the Laboratory Director at Centennial Labs, Charlie Boyd, VP Operations at HCA TriStar Centennial Medical Center, to take the stage with me, as well as Phil, Ellenburg, and Parker. So we can present the first ever Noble Neighbor Award to HCA TriStar Centennial Medical Lab for being Faith Family's 2022 Community Partner of the Year. Please join me in thanking them.
Hello, good morning. My name is Phil Rowe. I'd like to thank so many familiar faces, but new faces as well, for being here this morning to support Faith Family Medical Center, which I believe is one of our greatest community assets here in Nashville. Thank you for coming and showing your support. I'm Faith Family's immediate past board chair, and I've been involved with this cause for a number of years. Today, I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing our Faith Family Medical Center birthday breakfast keynote speaker, Senator Bill Frist. He does not need an introduction to the vast majority of those of you in this room. However, I would be remiss if I did not mention these few things, which I have told him this morning. If he adds anything more to the list, it won't fit on one page. But Dr. Frist is a nationally acclaimed heart and lung transplant surgeon, a former U.S. Senate Majority Leader. He is the founding partner of Frist Cressy Ventures and the chairman of the Executive Council of the healthcare service investment firm Cressy & Company. He's actively engaged in business as well as the medical, humanitarian, and philanthropic communities. He is the chairman of both Hope Through Healing Hands, which focuses on maternal and child health and global poverty, and SCORE, a statewide collaborative education reform organization that is helping propel Tennessee to prominence as a K-12 education reform state. He is the vice chair of the Nature Conservancy, a global environmental nonprofit working to create a world where people and nature can thrive. And currently, Senator Frist serves as an adjunct professor of cardiac surgery at Vanderbilt University. As a leading authority on healthcare, Senator Frist speaks nationally on health reform, government policy, global health, education reform, and volunteerism. And after all of that, he has found a way to spend time with us this morning. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Phil, thank you for that kind introduction. Welcome to everybody. It's been 3 years, I guess, before all of you and we have gathered together, and I think all of you can feel both the energy and the collegiality of being able to be side by side, interacting with people as part of a big mosaic supporting the issues that we're talking about today, the people we're talking about, the spirit we're talking about today. I want to recognize my wife, which table I come from. Tracy, just raise your hand. Tracy Frist, who I have the honor of waking up with every day as we go on journeys in this city, through this community, all areas of this community, through the region, through the South, and really around the world, addressing issues and figuring out how we can best serve people, just as we gathered today to see how we can best serve this community with all of you. Next to her is her brother, Ray Roberts came in from Blacksburg, Virginia. Ray, thank you for being with us. And to our left is my son, Harrison Frist. Harrison, thank you for coming here as well. Today, I want to share with you two stories. And the first is a wake-up call from about 6 years ago. And the second, more than 60 years ago, is a story of this woman that I'll explain a little bit later as a gift for you today. 7 years ago, I was at a board meeting in Princeton, New Jersey for the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, by far the largest health and well-being foundation in America, much larger than the Gates Foundation in focusing on health and well-being. And I was sitting at a table, just like the tables you're sitting at, a longer table, but sitting with a group of people at a long table, Princeton, New Jersey, huge foundation. It was one of my first meetings there. And I sat there humbly with a huge amount of humility in awe, literally in awe, the expertise and the knowledge that they had assembled there with experts from around the world, experts on health and well-being. But I also sat there proudly, and with a great deal of pride, because I could say I was to all these people around the world, from Nashville, Tennessee, the Silicon Valley of health services, literally the nation's hub, the headquarters from some of the most far-reaching, powerful healthcare companies, entities, for-profit and nonprofit alike, in all 50 states, headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee, headquarters to some of the greatest research and academics and training facilities like Vanderbilt University and Meharry Medical College, the largest private institution for minority populations in America. So very proud, because in Nashville, all these institutions were routinely awarded quality awards for their hospitals, their facilities, their clinics all over America, right here in Nashville. So humility, because I was with the experts sitting there, but from Nashville proudly. Late in the afternoon, and I remember it so well, it haunts me right now, what the question that was asked me. But at the end of the board table, late in the afternoon, at the end of the day, a hand came up, and the question was really directed to me. And it's the same question that I want all of you to leave here with today, to think about, because I don't have the answer. We don't have the answer yet. It's a question that underscores, that undergirds why you came here this morning, why you have supported our new facility, why you have supported Faith Family Medical. The underlying question, the question was a really simple one. The question was, Dr. Frist, hand went up, there they were. Dr. Frist, I know Nashville is famous for health care and healthcare companies all over America. But if that is the case, why does Nashville have the poorest health? The people of Nashville, why do they have the poorest health compared to all similar-sized cities in America? The question took me by surprise a little bit, but it haunts me today. How could we have poor health in Raleigh-Durham? The people within 5 miles of where we're sitting, Nashville proper, on average, we have poorer health in Raleigh-Durham, Charlotte, Denver, Atlanta, Fort Worth, Dallas. Why do Nashvillians on average have shorter lifespans than every one of those cities? Why does our booming Nashville, Tennessee, have more babies dying before the first age of life, right here in Nashville, than Raleigh-Durham, Charlotte, Denver, Atlanta, Fort Worth, Dallas? Why do the people of Nashville, when you look out and you see the growth and you see the cranes and you see the expansion, why does Nashville have worse overall, on average, mental health compared to the cities we're competing with for jobs, who are bringing people here. Austin and Raleigh and Dallas and Denver, all of them, we have more bad mental health days on average in Nashville, Tennessee than all of those. And that's what I want you to think about coming through. I'm not going to answer. The cold facts and this reality of our city today, most of you would have no idea before I've told you this, and that's why it shocked me. It haunts me. It needs to haunt all of us, and we need to have a response. The data I just throw up just because people say, that couldn't be. I don't believe it. Nobody has ever told me that. And the data is there. You don't have to go through. The columns are lined up. The cities are up there, and I've published on this. And I've spoken to a lot of people about it, but we have a long way to go. And we're not here to answer those questions today, the why. That's the question that's going to haunt you when you go home, and you're going to help me. You can work with a group called Nashville Health. Peyton Robinette, who's over there running the slides right now, and Mark Yancey run that organization. It's called Nashville Health. It is the one collaborative organization for all of Nashville that specifically is going to ask the question, why is that the case, and develop an action plan to reverse that. All of us here, we know of the growth, the energy, the food, the excitement, the dynamism that's going on in Nashville, the it city, the tourism that is coming here. But it only makes sense. People are not going to keep coming to the most unhealthy city on average, where more babies die, and people don't live shorter lives and have worse mental health. That trajectory of growth cannot continue. The growth of jobs, the prosperity, the low unemployment that we see in Nashville, that cannot continue without something changing. And so that is the backdrop. That very simply is our challenge. Now the good news is that by you being here today, getting up at 5:30 and 6 o'clock and driving in, you are responding to that challenge. And you're doing so by supporting, in essence, that mission that was just laid out in such an articulate video that we just presented. Last week I had the opportunity to once again visit the Faith Family Medical Center and spent an afternoon there. And as all of you know, because many of you contributed, and thank you for contributing to that new structure, because the sense of place where people are cared for spiritually and mentally and physically makes a difference. I would encourage all of you to go tour that beautiful place that you all contributed to. The video we opened with just a few minutes ago captured much of what I saw. It captured our collective response to that challenge, this challenge on these boards that I've laid out. It is our answer. It is our soul. It is our heart, because it does exactly the sorts of things to reverse the setup that I made in terms of where we are in population health. If you looked at the video in the beginning, and some people were talking in the background, was the teaching kitchen, where individuals and families from the most vulnerable, the uninsured, the people who don't have insurance, and marginalized populations, for the first time in their life can go in that kitchen, that teaching kitchen, and learn how to cook healthy, affordable meals. And there was a picture of the garden just 30 feet away from that kitchen is a garden right outside. It's the demonstration garden where herbs and spices are grown to replace the salt, which causes hypertension, which causes that early death. Here and on the tour, we visited the chronic diseases. We all know how chronic diseases are pulling our society down, where behavior modification for stopping smoking, for example, takes place. Smoking on that slide, you can see, you can't see the slide really. If you look at one of those columns, you'll see that more people smoke in Nashville, Tennessee, per capita in Nashville, Tennessee, than in any of these cities in Charlotte or in North Carolina. They're another tobacco state. Any of the other southern cities like Austin or Raleigh, more people smoke in Nashville today. And it is probably the most preventable cause of death that we can take care of. So anyway, encourage the tour itself. The facility is there, and that is the response to the problem that we have in Nashville today, which ultimately is going to slow down our growth and radically change the trajectory of our city if we don't continue to invest in faith family and others who are looking at vulnerable populations. So COVID taught us a lot, taught all of us a lot. It's been tough coming out, and we're still suffering from that, and everybody in this room has suffered from that. But if you back away, for today's purposes, it's taught one major thing, and that is health equity. And I mentioned those two words. Health equity to me is a just and appropriate care for everybody, opportunity for everybody to live as healthy a life as possible. COVID taught us that health equity is something we need to focus on. It plays upon this background of already having poor population health in our city. What we know is from COVID has had a disproportionate impact on vulnerable populations, on marginalized populations, on the underinsured, on uninsured. And as I go down the list, you can see that is our population. That is who we serve every day at Faith Family Medical Center. It is the response to this huge problem of poor population health in Nashville, which will bring down this trajectory of Nashville that we're on, that we're all riding, that our children simply will not see if we don't respond appropriately. The good, and I should say that people say, well, we've got Vanderbilt Medical Center, or we've got Meharry, or we've got HCA. These cannot fix this alone, this health equity challenge. They are not fixing it alone. They work within the confines of an insurance market, and they do their best, but HCA can't fix it alone. Assyrian can't fix it alone in the background. The Ascension can't fix it. Meharry can't fix it. Vanderbilt can't fix it. It's not in their purpose to address health equity, but it is the purpose of Faith Family Medical Center. You're fixing it by being here today, by supporting the very organization whose sole focus is addressing health disparities that lie behind the overall poor population health of Nashville. My second story. In times of uncertainty, in times of challenge, leadership matters. It's not necessarily leadership of the senator or Washington, D.C., or the governor or the mayor. It's the leadership that is depicted by this picture of my Aunt Bonnie, who was a principal at a school called Hattie Cotton. Hattie Cotton's about 2.5 miles from where we're sitting right now. So let's go back, not 6 years as I did before, but let's go back 65 years. In fact, a few days ago was the 65th anniversary, and caused me to Tracy was asking me some questions about it, and my brother Tommy had mentioned Aunt Bonnie, and it caused me to go back and look a little bit at what happened back 65 years ago. It was about 3 years after the landmark decision of Brown versus Board of Education, and the date, taking you way back to September 6, 1957, the first day of mandated integration, of 6 elementary schools in Nashville. Tensions were high. Protesters had flooded the streets in front of the schools on that first day. On that day, Hattie Cotton, an elementary school that had been in existence for about 7 years at the time, had just one 6-year-old black girl enrolled, a little girl, Patricia Wilson. My aunt, it's Margaret Kate, formerly, I'll affectionately call her Aunt Bonnie when I refer to her, was the principal at Hattie Cotton, never married. Her life was centered entirely around kids, around children, around high expectations, around high values, always, and you can kind of feel this almost iconic photograph in a gentle way, a strong way. Her convictions were ahead of her time, but they were grounded in equity. I'll keep using these words, equity coming in, this disproportionate impact in our society today, and how we can help fix that equity. They were grounded in equity and inequality. A day before I'm going to tell you what's happening, a close friend sensed in the air a worry of concern because she was visiting with Aunt Bonnie at her home. the day before the opening of school, and she was afraid because integration and desegregation was so new, and it scared people. And it wasn't just the people who were coming in from out of town. It scared a lot of people and a lot of our relatives and before, because it was so new at the time. There were going to be countrywide protests on desegregation. Little did Aunt Bonnie know at that time that her beloved tiny school would be making national headlines, and she would be called upon to unify. She'd be called upon to unify a principal of a school and to courageously lead the Hattie Cotton community, her students, her other teachers, but indeed the whole rest of Nashville, after a vicious, violent attack. No black children had pre-registered at Hattie Cotton. So that morning on the first day, the school children were not met by the pro-segregationist protesters that had flooded the city. Little Patricia Watson and her mother quietly slipped into the schoolroom that day, enrolled in the first grade class, and her mom went home. But as news spread around town of Patricia's arrival, her unexpected arrival at a school where they had not set up protest line, the protesters did make their way to the school to demonstrate and to intimidate upon class dismissal around noontime. Cars with segregationist propaganda and hateful symbols circled the school, maliciously honking their horns. As the school day came to a close and most of the children had gone home, Aunt Bonnie saw little Patricia sitting alone in the classroom. No one there. You see, no one had come to pick up. Actually, her mother had tried to come pick her up that day, but the protesters intimidated her and pushed her away. She called a taxi, and the taxi had tried to come through, and the taxi said, "There's no way I'm going to cross that line of protesters." Aunt Bonnie walked confidently. She grabbed the little girl's hand. She walked through the shouting, angry line of protesters to her car. In her words, which she later told to the police, "I decided to take the child home in my own car. As I paused before backing into the street, one of the men standing beside the car verbally protested my transporting a Negro child." Aunt Bonnie drove Patricia home safely. Relatively quiet so far. And then a massive explosion. Just past midnight on September 10th, 1957, an estimated 100 sticks of dynamite tore through the east wing of the Hattie Cotton School. Fortunately, it was at midnight and the building was empty and there were no deaths and no injuries. But hate and racism were threatening our children's basic right to equity, to an opportunity to learn. Aunt Bonnie quickly came back to school that night. Just hours after the devastating midnight blast, she was there nonstop over the next week, answering phones, consoling families, inspiring teachers, picking up among the rubble, giving hope. Aunt Bonnie, not skipping a beat, assumed the roles of consoler, commander, counselor, and communicator. The children remained her sole focus. She was the steady, the calming, the reassuring hand amid chaos. A week later, Life magazine, and these pictures that I'm showing you are from Life magazine of 1957, chronicling the turmoil and violence experienced by several southern cities at the schools integrated, published this very large, on Life it's a full page, poignant photo of my Aunt Bonnie, Principal Kate, sitting in the bombed out school library, reflecting, thumbing through mangled books. I ask you to look at the photo. It tells the story. It is the image I want to leave with you today. You see the composure, the reflection, the courage. You see the strength. You see the powerful servant leadership in the face of tragic adversity, but in the face of challenge. Her words recounted to the Tennessean later that first day. Aunt Bonnie said, "They tell us the damage was not too great in the 9 classrooms in the West Wing. We're doing nicely considering what we have left." That was Aunt Bonnie, always coupling positivity and the goodness of life with reality. The newspaper described in the article that I found her voice as bright, cheerful, full of optimism as she explained her words, "We hope we shall be holding classes here by the end of the week." Her focus was normalcy. Her focus was bringing back to the children that sense of normalcy. It was not anger. It was not resentment. And indeed, a week later, September 18th, all but a handful of the 383 Hattie Cotton students were back in class. Yes, a makeshift class, but back in class. She led confidently as a healing servant leader. It was a heroic effort and the broad support of Nashville community coming together with the Hattie Cotton School. Its students and staff did demonstrate their resilience. They stood up to hate and again walked through the doors just days after the terrifying attack that damaged not only the school, but blew out the windows of nearby homes. Principal Kate, Aunt Bonnie, shared with the Tennessean, I quote, "It is a little bit difficult for me to orient myself to the sort of feeling we have seen in the past several days, but I have a tremendous lot of confidence in my school community." Thankfully, this did become a catalyzing event for the Nashville community, and some of you, a few of you were around at that time, and it did galvanize the community. It brought the community together, and ultimately we had a peaceful transition to integration because people said this is not right. It is not right for a community. And other southern cities had a much tougher time because they didn't have this galvanizing event to lead them in a direction. Their communities did not come around the principles of equity, opportunity for education. Hattie Cotton, 2.5 miles from here today, probably 70% of the students there today are students of color. So this is education, equity, its response to tragedy. But why? Why do I tell this story? And it's because we have another massive challenge for Nashville, and it is this challenge of not education equity, but of health equity. It is the challenge I've laid out of poor average health of all people living within 5 miles of where we're talking now, all people in Nashville, Tennessee, that on average we're living shorter lives. The babies are dying at a higher rate. We have the worst mental health compared to every other similar city that we're competing with jobs with every day. But this is our city, and we have the opportunity to fix it. And there is no better way to fix it than to do exactly what you're doing today, to seize this opportunity, which you obviously have or you wouldn't be here, but to take the organization of Faith Family Medical Center, which is targeted exactly at this fundamental issue of health equity. So in closing, my ask is that we really just kind of study this picture of Aunt Bonnie and ask how we can act, how we can continue to act, and ask friends to act in a similar spirit. 3 things. First, to know ourselves, to be healing servant leaders, to serve our children and to serve our families and to serve our neighbors. Second, to respond to Nashville's community challenge of health equity, a level of health equity that probably 90% of you were not fully aware of until you saw the reality and the statistics I presented. To respond to Nashville's community challenge of health equity, just as Aunt Bonnie did, with composure and with conviction and with getting, like her, and so well depicted in this picture, to get in the arena, which again you are by being here today. We thereby become part of something much bigger than ourselves. Something much bigger than even our families. It's bigger than our community, and it flows over to the state and the job creation. And third and lastly, to support Faith Family Medical Center, which is at the very heart of solving the biggest health challenge threatening Nashville today and threatening our opportunity for a prosperous city and community and state tomorrow. Thank you.
Well, good morning again, and thank you all for coming here this morning. Thank you, Senator Friss, for taking the time and lending your support to Faith Family's mission of bringing hope and healing to our hardworking neighbors in need. My name is Parker Penovec, and I've had the privilege to serve as the Chief Medical Officer for the past 9 years at Faith Family Medical Center. And here at Faith Family, we are blessed to be involved in the lives of our patients every day. And I want you guys to hear from one of those patients, Steve. He is often known as Big Steve, is graciously taking time away from his barbershop, which he owns, to speak with me and to speak with all of you. Good morning, brother. We like to sit closer. We like to sit closer. We're going to slide together. All right. So, Steve, I know you are from Nashville, and so kind of just start off telling us, where did you grow up, and kind of what was life like for you before you ever came to Faith Family?
Okay. Well, I actually grew up out north Nashville, right across Charlotte from Faith Family over the Joe Johnson Housing Project.
Can you all hear? Can you guys hear okay, if Steve? Good. Okay, good.
Well, that's it. I grew up over there in the city, average life, Christian. You know, I went to Jackson Street Church of Christ when I grew up. And I had the average, you know, Nashville upbringing, you know, in the inner city.
Yeah, what schools did you go to?
I went to Head Elementary, and then I went on to West End Middle, and I finished my last year of school at Whites Creek High School. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so we're going to go back in time. So 2012 was the first time that you came to see us. So you've been a patient for over 10 years. What got you here the first time?
I was in pretty bad shape when I first got here. I was referred by one of you guys' affiliates, Trina Frierson, Mended Hearts, and I came in and had real bad sleep apnea. Didn't know that at the time. I just had like a narcoleptic type thing going on, overweight, you know. Not that I'm skinny now, but I'm way smaller than I was when I first got here.
Yeah. I actually went back and read the note from 10 years ago, and I'm laughing because they're like, well, Steve was falling asleep while I was in the room with him. Yeah, he had sleep apnea. And it was even stopping you from
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was afraid because I would fall asleep literally in the middle of a conversation. Like we'd be talking, and I go out, and I come back in. Yeah, so it was bad.
So then you went away for a while. We didn't see you for about 4 years. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm actually a recovering addict. Almost got like 10 years clean now. So I went to prison. Yeah, so I went to prison, and I did 4 years, and I came back in 2016. And
that's when we met.
Right.
Okay. So I saw you in 2016, and wow, we were talking about that. I mean, you had not been back how long?
60 days, 30, 60 days.
I think it was 60 days and was back in town. And wow, we started talking about like when you know, what are we going to do about your diet? Because remember that's when we diagnosed with diabetes, and we started talking about high blood pressure and all that. And one of the challenges we talked about is you didn't even have your own refrigerator.
Right. I was living in the halfway house. And I remember one of the funny things, and people need to know, it's like Faith Family is serious about making appointments and keeping appointments. And since I had been in prison, I had missed appointments, so I was like, well, y'all take me back, you know. So, and that's important because, you know, as a black man, it's hard to keep us keeping up with our health. You know, like making the appointments, actually going, because sometimes you just don't even want to know what might be said. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Really hard to do. Okay. So when you came back, wow, so many things we got started with. So Beth Allen, you met Beth.
Right, that was my nutritionist, is my nutritionist, and she'll bother you. She'll call you and check on you.
She'll bother you. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling her she had me try yogurt. I was like, Yeah, I tried.
You did.
Yeah.
You even went vegetarian for a while.
Right.
Now tell me, no,
Which is great. You know, I do well.
But how'd that go with your family?
They not vegetarian. Yeah. But I mean, I do really well under 300.
Yeah.
As long as I'm under 300, I do really well. 301, really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but through all of that, I mean, you went from taking a bunch of medicine to not taking as much medicine. That is really annoying.
What is that? That's not us.
That's right. So I guess, I mean, that leads me into, so how did Faith Family change the quality of your life?
Well, the first thing is Faith Family, and I say this all the time, they treat you like a human being. Like I have some stuff now, you know, and I'm affiliated with some things now. I do a lot of stuff there in the community. But when I came to Faith Family, I had nothing. You know, I was a freshly new recovering addict, just got out the penitentiary, and y'all still treated me like a person. And that was the beginning of the healing. And that's where the faith in Faith Family comes from.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So tell them, oh, yeah, sure. So you talked about it some, and obviously, like I said, I remember when you were living in the halfway house, you didn't have a place for your stuff, you know, you were worried about your food, your refrigerator, you just didn't have it. So now, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
Let's go with that. What do you do for a living?
Well, I own a barbershop on Noblesville Road, and I cut hair, and I employ people, and it's a beautiful thing. You know, I get to give back what was freely given.
Yeah. You own your home.
I own my home.
Yeah, you own your car.
3 cars. Yeah.
I'm shortening him there. He owns 3 cars.
Yeah, I own
Sorry.
2 Mercedes and a pickup.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
I've seen them. Yeah, I forget you were comparing those with somebody. No, that's okay. That was good. I remember how proud you were though when you came in. You said, "I never thought I would own my own home."
Never even thought about it.
Yeah,
Never
was
even
not
thought
in
about
your
it.
horizon.
It wasn't even a thought, man. Yeah. And that's the reason why, you know, I spend a lot of time now, man, telling my story. Because I'm a success story. I'm a Faith Family success story. I'm a Narcotics Anonymous success story. I'm a recovery success story. You know, I'm a Christian success story. All of those things.
Tell them what you do with bowling. I love this.
Oh, well, I sponsor all newcomers to the Narcotics Anonymous program. I take them to bowling on Friday nights. I pay for everything. And just show them that there's more to life and that you can actually have fun and not smoke, drink, use, and stuff like that. So. And I don't let money be the reason why they can't be gone. So, you know, it's great. Plus, that. I'm a great bowler. I get to beat them out. Yeah.
Now, the truth is, he actually bowls on Thursday night by himself.
I practice.
He's confessed to me. He bowls on Thursday night by himself so he can beat the boys on Friday night. I know. So if y'all don't know that, it's true. That's going on.
You don't want to pay and lose. Come on now. Right?
Okay. Man, I love it. We could stay up here all day with you. All right, we don't have a lot of time left, but I just want to ask you one final question. You talk a lot, we talk a lot about self-worth. We talk about, you know, having self-worth. If you could look back in time 10 years and look at yourself and look at Faith Family, what would you say?
The first thing I would say is, God's not through with you yet. And, you know, I've heard the story a few times about how the colonel didn't cook his first chicken until he was in his 60s or something. You know, I'm 52 today, and I've accomplished more in 6 years than I had in my whole lifetime. So, you know, you never underestimate God's timing. And you can start right here, right now, in whatever condition you are, and he can still use you, you know. And as far as Faith Family, man, you have to have health, mentally, physically, and spiritually, before you can do anything else. And Faith Family was a big part of that. And I really appreciate Faith Family, because when you treat a person like a person, then it makes it available for them to see themselves in other lights. Yeah. And you know, like most doctors don't know their patient's story, but we always talk.
We always talk.
And that's a Faith Family thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is. It's a great thing. One of the things I know you've told me is that when you treat, I can't get this right, when you treat somebody like they're somebody, when they're nobody,
they can become somebody.
They can become somebody.
That's right.
So I love it when he tells me that. All right.
Well, thank you, Big Steve. Not as Big Steve as you used to be, but thank you, Big Steve, for being here and sharing your inspiring story. Thank you, Senator Frist, for your, frankly, sobering and challenging words, but nonetheless words of hope and encouragement for all of us today. I'm Phil Ellenburg. I am blessed and privileged to serve as the president and CEO at Faith Family Medical Center. I know we promised you you'd be out by 9, but it's still a good morning, so give me 5 minutes, and then I'm going to let you go. I know some of you have to see patients and get to work. It's a work day, but we're getting close. But just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for waking up early. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for being a part of what we do at Faith Family. And I hope today, when you leave here, that you'll leave informed, inspired, and excited about our future, because the future is bright at Faith Family. Before I talk about that for just a second, I just want to thank a few individuals as we are all here together. It's been a while, and so there are a lot of things to say, but it wouldn't be the right thing to do or the right morning without recognizing our founder, Dr. David Gaw, who more than 20 years ago envisioned a place where neighbors could come together and get the health care that they needed but weren't getting. He enlisted the support of Dr. John Lamb and Charlie Martin, and our first medical director, Dr. Tom Henderson, all who were instrumental in launching this amazing clinic, what we know today as Faith Family Medical Center. Over the years, since 2001, we've served over 30,000 individual patients, over 100,000 patient visits, all because of that vision. Dr. Gaw and his wife Patsy and Dr. Henderson and his wife Linda are here today. Would y'all just wave so we can recognize you? They're over here at 10 and 11. Thank you all so much. Also want to thank Neill and Elliott, Kyle, for chairing this event, for making it what it is. Thank you for all you do for Faith Family. Thank you for leading the way on this birthday breakfast. And please join me in thanking them this morning as well. I'd like to recognize our board of directors. These individuals give their time, talent, and treasure to ensure that Faith Family steadfastly achieves our mission of providing excellent, affordable health care every day. I am so grateful for their unwavering leadership and support. It is an amazing group of people. Their names are in your program, but if you're here and on our board of directors, would you please stand so we can thank and recognize you? I know you're scattered around the room. It's okay, don't be shy. Thank you. And then last but certainly not least, and thank you, Reggie, for already recognizing the amazing Faith Family team, but I want to give them another shout out. Our mission is what brings us all together every single day, and it is truly a joy to get to work with such an amazing team. So if you're on the Faith Family team, would you please stand one more time? We want to recognize you. They're scattered around a little bit, mostly down here. And while we're doing that, I'm not sure, I know Emily's there, but also the team, the small but mighty team that made this morning the success that it is, 2 people leading the way. Emily Maggart and Hannah Stone. Where's Hannah? Oh, she's behind me. Thank you to them for making today what it is with a lot of help. Well, hopefully you've been inspired by what you've seen and heard here today. Since 2019, the last time we were together, there have been a few things. We've survived tornadoes. We survived a pandemic. We survived the retirement of our first and only CEO. Thank you, Laura Hobson, for blazing the trail for us. Thank you. We opened a new state-of-the-art medical facility in the middle of a pandemic, and you all were so gracious to welcome a new guy on board as a new CEO. And pretty much all of us changed our lives in some way since 2019. But through it all, Faith Family has continued to serve. We're serving more patients than ever before. We've added more talented and dedicated providers, including full-time behavioral health. And in an extremely exciting new development, we've launched our innovative new direct primary care program called Health Pass. Health Pass is a low-cost, membership-based solution enabling business owners and nonprofit leaders the ability to offer comprehensive, affordable, high-quality health care to their employees when health insurance isn't an option. And coincidentally, we have a Health Pass table set up right over there. If you want more information about Health Pass, you can check it out. But we're thrilled with the good things going on at Faith Family. So yes, while a lot has changed since 2019, some things haven't changed, and frankly, Faith Family has not, because we continue to do what we do every day. When you boil it down, our mission is really pretty simple. Driven by faith, we provide hope and healing to our hardworking neighbors in need. To even put it more succinctly, Jesus said, I was sick and you took care of me. That's what we do at Faith Family every single day. We just take care of people. There have been some challenging days, but our team is always up for the challenge, and I know you are too. So today, I challenge you. I challenge you to dig deep. I challenge you to give bigger than you planned to give when you walked in the room today. I challenge you to add a zero when you write that check out, because I know you can truly change someone's life with your gift today. Somebody like Big Steve or the hundreds of other Big Steves who walk through our door. Our fundraising goal today, challenging goal, $360,000. Don't you just love setting records, though? Don't you love being a part of something great? You can do that today. We've tried to make it easy for you. You can write a check. You can put it in the envelope on the table. You can text your gift. You can use the QR code. Any of those ways, they're all right here on the back of your programs on your table. It's all there, and it's time. And so each and every dollar you give makes a difference. And that impact is incredible. For every dollar given, we turn that into about $4 in medical care. Life-changing, life-saving medical care. 85% of every dollar given, 85 cents on every dollar, think about that, goes directly to supporting our mission. If you know anything about nonprofits, you'll understand why we're really proud of that percentage. And as I already mentioned, 100% of every dollar you give right now goes straight to providing excellent patient care because of the generosity of our sponsors. And it just hit me that I didn't mention that because I forgot to thank our sponsors in my rush. I'm going to stop right now. Look around at this, at the placards, and also it's on your table. We could not do this without our amazing sponsors who made all of this possible. They already set a record in sponsorship giving, and so that every dollar given this morning goes directly 100% to patient care. I'm so glad that I caught myself without making a huge mistake with letting you leave without thanking our sponsors, which we're going to do right now. Thank you so much. So that gave you a little more time, unplanned, but hopefully you've had time to make that gift by now. If you haven't, stay. It's okay, we'll let you stay. But for the rest of you, seriously, thank you so much for being here today. You're a blessing to us. You're a blessing to Faith Family. You're a blessing to our patients. And because of that, I'd like to just speak a word of blessing over you as we close today from God's word. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. May God bless you for all you do. Thank you for all you mean to us. Go in peace. Have a great day.